We live. Show starts in 1 minute. 1 minute, 1 minute.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Hey, Karen, music, please. Bring that beat back, Karen. Bring that beat back. Yes, sir. We are in the joint.
The Self Love Show, giving you more than vitamins and minerals. Food for your soul, information and plans integral to making your mind grow. With more growth and development, BS is irrelevant to the intelligent. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is what we represent.
It's the Self Love Show. The Self Love Show. The Self Love Show. We do it for the people. Self Love Show. It's the Self Love Show. It's the Self Love Show. To expose the unequal. The Self Love Show. The Self Love Show. The Self Love Show. Tory Wordsmith 9 mil. The Self Love Show. The Self Love Show. You know how the story go. It's the Self Love Show. That it is. It's the Self Love Show. The views expressed in today's podcast are those of the hosts, guests, and are not necessarily reflective of TATN or any affiliates. Big ups to Midwest Festivals, our sponsors, and also Jimmy Recovery, covering your towing needs in the greater city of Chicago. Welcome to the Self Love Show on This Ain't That Network, as we affectionately call it, TATN. This is a spot where we explore captivating topics to expand our community's minds and ignite the copper curiosities. This is one of the co-hosts, 9 Millie. All praise to the ancestors, the Most High, and my beloved Mama Sky. Love you, miss you. Today, we're going to delve into the fascinating world of nonverbal humans and their alleged potential telepathic abilities. For years, stories of telepathy have captured the human imagination, and now we explore whether individuals, typically like savants, who do not communicate verbally, may possess extraordinary ways of connecting and sharing thought. We'll examine compelling case study, scientific research, end quote, and personal anecdotes that suggest the existence of telepathic communication among nonverbal individuals. My sister-in-law, she's worked with these individuals for a very long time. She's in the profession, a professional. She's a professional out there. And I asked her about it, and she said she was saying this all the time, that they knew what was going on and they were reading people's minds or communicating with one another. Fascinating. Now, these insights could revolutionize our understanding of human interaction and our consciousness, challenging the boundaries of what we consider possible out there. Join us as we unpack the mysteries of telepathic abilities and uncover the untapped potential within their minds and, dare I say, your mind. This episode promises to be a third eye-opening journey into the unexplored realms of telepathy and nonverbal communication. So whip out your self-love vision. and your 10 hats. Don't forget to like, subscribe, repost, and share this discussion with your friends, specifically anyone who may work with nonverbal humans, and maybe they have a family member, uh, because this is fascinating. This is the Self Love Show, and this is still the revolution. And the revolution will not be on YouTube, however. These are lessons, not lectures. We're live and live in color, and today is Tuesday, January 28th, 2025. Happy birthday to one of my big brothers, uh, Miliak, aka Punchy Baby. And today is 7:08 in Chicago, and as always, you cats can be anywhere in this magnanimous universe, but thankfully, we all chose to be here together, here together. There's the creator of this little ditty.
Little what?
Oh, my bad. little diddler. What's been going on, my brother, since the last time we well, before I get there, what you manifesting there, fella?
Love, man. You know me. I'm manifesting love. What you manifest?
Ditto, good brother. Pure, unfiltered. You know, we don't step on our love here. It's not watered down. All right, it's pure. Some say tough, others say harsh, but it's love just the same. Just like the love I had for all the pledges back in college. That's right. But what's been going on, brother, since we last did the show?
And this weather has been a trip. Up, down, up, down. Whew. Minus 11 to 45.
Wow. Ooh-wee. Man, y'all stay warm out there. Stay safe. Check on the ones who might not be as fortunate, and the older ones, or the ones who, might be battling illness and things like that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, what to expect on today's Self Love Show? We always kick it off with our quote of the day. Then we run a quick, less than 1 minute platform video. That's the More Growth and Development platform. Then we got Tattoo Tyranny. Tattoo Tyranny, maybe, maybe not. But of course, the dome teaser, the riddle, is currently pinned in the chat. Your mind is awful if you let it lie fallow. So, put your mind to it. You might be able to matriculate the answer from the ether. So we'll give you the answer at the end of the show if Brother Wordsmith does. Well, Brother Wordsmith will give you the answer at the end of the show if nobody else solves it. If he can't solve it, I'll give you the answer. And then, of course, our topic today, a serious, is it a wacky topic? Huh? Is it only wacky if you learned about it in school? The places of indoctrination. I don't know. Nonverbal humans are psi. Telepathy tapes unpacked. That's what we're doing here today. You also may want to get this out to your educators too. Educators, anybody you know is educating the little humans. This could be very helpful. Anybody with children, this could be very helpful. And then we close it out with my personal favorite part of the whole shebang, and that's when Brother Wordsmith right here. He's going to summarize today's mind-blowing topic. All right. He's going to summarize it all in a bit of poetry right off the top of his dome. And I suspect he's pulling it from the ether as he just pulled the solution to today's dome teaser out of the ether. We'll share it with you guys because you guys aren't classy enough to solve it yourselves. All right. Before we get there, though, bro, I got some announcements. As I said earlier, happy birthday to Miliak.
Big ups, big ups. Happy born day.
Yeah, on his own personal New Year day. We had Stace Dude too, right, fella? Happy born day to Stace Dude.
Yep. Happy born day. Nope.
Yeah, personal New Year. Ain't me. Anthony
And
B.
B.
Washing Stones.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. And then my sister Roxy, she introduced me to my better half. All right. And then my niece, Davi, a lot of birthdays.
Whole lot of birthdays, apparently.
This will be before our next show. And then big ups to Illa. All these people will have had another turn around the burn
All
before our
right.
next show.
All
God
right,
is
Ella.
willing. That's right. All right, y'all. Please hit that thumbs up button out there. Drop something in the chat. If you've ever interacted or communicated with some of the non-verbals, holla at us. This is something we're taking serious. If you've ever had a gut feeling, maybe you've been hiding things around the house. I don't want the kid to know where the cookies are, and the kid comes right in there and goes right to the cookies. Hmm? This brother Wordsmith had that ability. Come right in there and put the chairs together, climb right up, get right to the cookies. You know what I mean? I don't want to say had like it's past tense, but this programming stuff, they put you through a whole battery of coaching that out of you. You know what I mean?
Oh man. They 100%. What are you talking about? No. You don't
What you
tell anybody that and you stop it.
were you daydreaming? Stop daydreaming. You know what I mean? You was definitely jumping right into the gap, self, and those
Huh?
guys. Yeah, I'm over here doing thought experiments, not listening to nonsense. But yeah, happy birthday to everybody. Enough of my yapping. I'll turn it over to this brother to handle his business.
Yes, y'all. Don't stop. Self Love Show rocks on. As 9 is imparted upon you, nonverbal humans are side to oh my God, tongue tied, wordsmith, telepathy tapes unpacked, telepathy tapes unpacked. My goodness, got a brain cramp.
That's easy for you to say.
As always, we have a very important video for you to watch. The Silverback More Growth and Development platform, which the Self Love Nation is built off of. And before that, we have the Self Love Show quote of the day. The real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. Once again, the real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. Marcel Proust.
Wow. With contacts, get you some color contacts out there.
Who out there? Silverback More Growth and Development platform. Number 1, repair our nation via reparations. We demand our silver back. Number 2, to connect our breadwinners with our activists. And 3, show an accurate depiction of African-American Chi-Town. 4, to shine a light on positive influence. 5, heal our community one person at a time. 6, provide an unfiltered platform for our influencers. 7, recycle the black dollar. 8, to provide mentors for the mentorless. 9, to close the gap between us and our pink kinsmen. Number 10, protect our women, children, and men by any and all means necessary.
And the people say amen to that. Amen to that. In case you missed last week's episode, on the pod, we covered alien implant tech, evidence and purpose out there.
We fact filled. It's fact packed, actually. I advise you to go check it out. Check it out.
Yeah, man, the show is kind of like smelling salts. We'll wake them up at some point. Eat the smelling salts. They put it under your nose, and yeah. All right, we got the warm-up poll question, you guys. It's on the community tab on the channel, TATN. All right. And the question is, do nonverbal gifted humans with special needs communicate telepathically? That's the question. Do nonverbal gifted humans with special needs communicate telepathically? Think about the time I wasted at William H. Ray School. You know what I mean? Man, had access to everything. All right. 1, no. Simple. No, they don't. 2, yes. That's simple. Yes, they do. And 3, maybe. All right. Get your votes in. Last time I checked, we had 60% said yes, 20% said no, and 20% said maybe. Interesting. That is interesting. So you guys take a quick second, go to that community tab right here on the TATN channel. You might want to hit view channel and then scroll over. You'll figure it out. All right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. And Brother Wordsmith and I will tell you what we responded towards the end of tonight's show. All right, bro. Did you see DJ Wackademics? It's one of your personal favorites. Grooming Twitch.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I didn't watch anything of him. So
Fair use. Big ups to Wackademics and also Risky Behavior Entertainment on YouTube. Y'all subscribe to his channel if you want. I don't know much about it.
If Max said he wanted to try fucking a dude, will you let him fuck you?
No.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. You can have. Wait.
If I can't fuck you, I'm cutting you off.
No, yeah. Suppose he's like, yo, bro, listen, yo, you always wanted me to be next to you. Now I could be inside of you. Pause.
You inviting Shorty to have a man put it where the sun don't shine? Can't sue him. Nah, son need to go to jail.
So this is one of those times I have to agree with Hassan Campbell. I don't know why DJ Academics is not locked up by the police.
All right. So they were having that discussion, and the kid was like, because I'm 15. They're on Twitch with a 15-year-old, asking this poor kid all kind of stuff. And he's like, yeah, because that would be a grown woman. That'd be a whole case. Well, that's not for you. And this goes on and on and on. The internet went crazy. And this guy doesn't see the problem in it. Well, Twitch did. He's been suspended or banned off Twitch. What are your thoughts?
he's a jagbag. And,
he's what?
Jagbag, a piece of crap.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And, I, don't see this out of character for him.
I think he's possessed by some sort of demon. If I ever met him, I'd ask that demon to identify itself or itself. Taja Sherrill said, hey, y'all. And then she put the crown up there. I don't know if that's referring to your crown or whatever, but what's going on, baby girl? And then we got Lotus Hartley said, hey, fellas, right there in the chat.
Lotus. Tasia.
Yeah, it's weird, man. He's a weird dude. He preyed on called everybody in the streets of Chicago demons, but yeah, we don't want to give that any more energy. Small ups to DJ Wackademics.
No ups.
All right. Nonverbal humans are Psi. Telepathy Tapes unpacked.
Y'all please hit that like button. Keep the chatter coming up. If you got any questions, again, if you know anybody with a nonverbal child or anything, you really should send them this link. You really should, because of course they're in there. We've always known they're in there, haven't we? So
Absolutely.
we've always known they're in there. It's fascinating study, and we're going to break down and run through these the first tape with you guys, and we got some great stuff lined up for you. All right, let's see. Do we have any pink crime? Did we have any pink crime? Big ups to the sponsors.
Yes, y'all. We don't stop.
All right.
Festivals rocks it on. Jim's Recovery.
Yeah, Jim's Recovery for your towing needs out there. And get out of snow zone from now until was it March something self? You can't park in the street whether it's sunny outside or not. Yeah, April 1st. Oh, well, maybe we can get Jimmy to clear it up for us. All right, Karen, we got one more for you. I just want to run it. I want to hear Brother Wordsmith's take. Then I'll give my take.
Ready? Let's go.
Big ups to Karen. All the Karens out there.
It's the mystery baffling the nation. This disturbing satellite image is going viral today. Is somebody spelling out a plea for help? From the ground, it looks like a dilapidated railroad yard, but it's only from the air that you can see the words spelled out clearly. Help, over and over. Was it an urgent SOS that something sinister was happening here? Possibly even human trafficking? You can make out the words, help, Traffico, and LAPD. It's prompting citizen sleuths to look for answers. Possible trafficking victims, goes one theory. There's a lot more going on than what's visible on the surface, goes another. Michael and Gabriella Keller drove 50 miles to see for themselves.
First, I thought maybe it was a prank, but, I believe, because of this location, how close it is to, the harbor and the trains and all that, I think it's real.
So what's really going on? There is no evidence of human trafficking, says the LAPD. Union Pacific, the railroad company that owns the land outside of downtown Los Angeles, tells Inside Edition that the help signs were placed on the property by a homeless trespasser.
All right. What's your immediate thoughts on that, Phil?
Immediately, I'm feeling it could be something to the trafficking. I mean, LAPD is going to say what they're going to say anyway. I don't think that they are big on collecting traffickers, catching them.
What I got was, if you're a victim of a crime and you're able to leave a message, you're going to try to leave the criminal's name in your messaging. And that name that was left was LAPD. Now you've got, I mean, it's just one way of looking at it. And then LAPD comes out and says, there's nothing to see here.
Right.
But all of your citizens come out there and they say, look, you got the dock, you got all this out here. And then I drive up and down Figueroa and there's nothing but traffic sex workers out there from all over America. You know what I mean? Underage, just standing there, and you don't see the cops pulling up and arresting them and taking them to counseling. Now, I'm not here to blame LAPD, but I'm just saying that's just one way of looking at it.
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't put nothing past them. Small ups, LAPD. They're doing stuff. They're doing stuff.
No ups.
All right. Nonverbal humans aside, telepathy tapes unpacked. That's what we're doing here today. We appreciate you guys. All right, we're gonna get to today's dome teaser, which is a riddle. Your mind is awful when you let it lay fallow out there. I believe that's possibly why these nonverbals are able to potentially do the things that this study is going to show you that they're potentially doing. Their mind's not laying fallow out there. Right. No.
Not at all.
So they could be in meditation like 24/7. But here we go, bro. In silence, I hear your thoughts. Without words, I know what's sought. Invisible bridge that minds traverse. What am I? A gift. Some call a curse. It's evil. It's a demon. Satan. In silence, I can hear your thoughts. Without words, I know what's sought. Invisible bridge that minds traverse. What am I? A gift, some call a curse. You saw that before the end of the show. Brother Wordsmith and I give you a double big ups. Right, so?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll personally say your name and give you a double big ups and those little things in your head. What are those things in your brain that fire off when you drink coffee?
Neurons.
Yeah, neurons. Is that it? You smoke a cigarette. You look at your social media. I don't know.
No, it's not neurons.
No, yeah. All right. Enough of the appetizers out there, fella.
Let's quench the self-love nation's thirst.
All right, we're jumping on topic, y'all. Karen, we do have a promo video, and we're gonna hop right to it. No plan. Like, share, subscribe, please. Repost, please. It's time to unpack the telepathy tapes there, fella.
My son said to me, I can hear thoughts.
What is this phenomena happening? Why are his mind and my mind completely connected?
We got to speak for the unspoken.
I will dig deeper into them.
Telepathy is the tip of the iceberg with their spiritual gifts.
They don't even have to be in the same room, the same zip code.
Yeah, they have a message. We got to help them get their message out there.
For decades, a very specific group of people have been claiming telepathy is happening in their homes and in their classrooms. And nobody has believed them. Nobody has listened to them. But on this podcast, we do.
These nonverbals allegedly are tapping into the cloud. It's a cloud up there.
Ooh. The ether. What they don't teach us about.
And I said, impossible. And he said to me, you don't get the kind of gifts that I have if you lie.
Moses fleeing the people from Pharaoh.
Right. All right, John, quick overview why we do this. We basically do it for George Floyd and other victims like him and all our ancestors who shed their blood for our sanctity, our freedom, and our continuous quote-unquote struggle. We don't struggle towards equality because we're already beyond equal. Struggle maybe for justice? I don't know. Also, we're leaving data out here for those who come behind us, and we're chronicling our story as opposed to history. And this particular show is for those who need a voice. All people need a voice, but today the nonverbals. So big ups to all of them and their families. It's a tough struggle. Tough struggle, and things like what they're doing could really help some people, like the spelling and
yes,
which we'll get into. So that's what the show is. And again, big ups to our sponsors, Midwest Festivals and Jimmy Recoveries out here. Jimmy Recoveries.
Jim's Recoveries.
Oh, my bad. Jim's Recovery. Jim's Recovery. My bad. Jim's. I call him Jimmy. All right. We're gonna jump on it. The main focus of the research, it focuses on investigating telepathic communication abilities in nonverbal autistic children, exploring whether they can receive and transmit information without using traditional language cues, whether that's audible or, sign language and things of that nature. Who's the leading telepathy tapes? Who's the researcher on this? Prestigious researcher.
I know that what's her name? Dickens or something? Is that the one that does the tapes?
Kai just did the documentary. Kai Dickens. Big ups to Kai Dickens.
Kai. I keep saying Key.
The researcher is Diane Hennessy Powell. Hennessy. She spells it with a C. She's a neuropsychiatrist and a researcher. She's been studying telepathic phenomenon and other psychic ability for like years, almost 20 years. Johns Hopkins educated, and I believe she's emeritus at Harvard.
Mm.
And prestigious.
Yeah, they wasn't so prestigious when she put her first book out. They took her license.
Harvard. That's how they stay prestigious. You're gonna play their game. You're gonna play their game. You know what I mean? Harvard. So, all right. What type of methods are used? And we're about to run some of the tape for you guys after this. But what kind of methods from your review of the telepathy tapes was used in this research? General overview there, Phil.
Some blind tests, like where they were made an assumption that the students, the non-speakers, could see or read their parents' mind or whoever's close to them at the time that they are observing. So it would be a blind test where they show the parent or person that the nonverbal was using telepathy with their minds, and they would guess at a very high percentage. So I don't even know if I could call it a guess. They would say exactly what the word or number or whatever they were using.
Like 95%.
Some of them were 100%, but
yeah,
some of them, were high 90s.
Overall from her numbers, from her studies. And I think when you do this because Big Science did a study, and they do find that everyday laymen have been able to change the probability on things, and they consider like 37% to be really good.
Yeah.
And these cats are at like 98% to your point. Now, there's some controversy here. So for anyone who has a nonverbal family member or person they're working with the methods of communicating, because you should be asking yourself, well, if they're nonverbal, how can they communicate what they're reading? The spelling, Self. Can you kind of break down what they're doing there, what that is, spelling?
Well, they've devised a way for nonverbals to write out words, or not write out, but point out the letters to spell words.
Yeah, like on a stencil. They'll have a stencil with letters. Go ahead.
Yeah, stencil or an iPad. They can type it out themselves.
Yeah.
Things of that nature.
Now, go ahead.
Let you know that they are completely intelligent and know what's going on.
Well, that's a great point. They are completely intelligent and they know what's going on. The controversy stems from now, according to the nonverbals, they have trouble locating their extremities. It's the way that their spirit is into their body. And so like they're just maybe like halfway here, halfway in the ether. And they don't really know, like, I know these are my fingers and I know the spatial reference. And they say they just need, some of them when they start, they'll need their therapist to be holding their hands. But they're doing it. So that's where Big Science jumped on it and said, oh, the therapists are doing it. But after you work with them and they keep doing it, you don't even have to be in a room. Like one lady just touches her daughter's hair, like one strand of hair, and she's so that's all wacky science. Like, and that's why science doesn't. The whole spelling, they think it's some sort of parlor trick. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, they're all locked into physicality, and most of science doesn't talk about forces that you can't see, touch, hear, smell, or taste. So,
you're talking about the material science.
Yes.
Which is what the dogma that we've all been going back to Big Einstein, the smartest guy who's ever lived. No. Big ups to Einstein. I mean, we'll give him big ups.
I'll give him a ups.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. But yeah, great point. So we're not playing the video, we're gonna play the sound. And this is fair use. You guys, the telepathy tapes, the sound version of them, it's on YouTube. All right, they have a channel. You'll find it. Also, I believe there's like a documentary where it's all video. I haven't come across that. I've been going by the sound for the most part. Let's see here. All right, so we're gonna play something here. 218.
Hey, what's up, everyone? This
with children who have.
Cue it up, Karen. Fair use.
when I heard a podcast featuring Dr. Diane Hennessy Powell.
Welcome to the Cosmos in You podcast.
So today we have Dr. Diane Hennessy Powell, who is a Johns Hopkins trained neuropsychiatrist, speaker, researcher, and author. In this episode, we discuss the research she's currently working on to study autistic savants and their telepathic abilities.
I had never heard of something like telepathy being talked about from a neuroscientist. And I went back to the intro just to learn a little bit more about Dr. Powell's background.
I applied to medical school and went to Johns Hopkins. And while there, I continued to do neuroscience research and work with some of the greatest minds in neuroscience. And instead of staying on to Hopkins for faculty, I joined the faculty at Harvard.
Harvard.
So, as much as someone can be, she's a legitimate academic. And she goes on to talk about her background and research. She started by studying savant skills. For a quick refresher, savants have exceptional aptitude in something like math or language or art without having any formal training or exposure to the skill. So, like someone who can play piano expertly without one lesson.
All of that should tell you something right there.
Or someone who has a brain injury
Absolutely.
and suddenly understands calculus. So Dr. Diane Powell is studying savant skills in autistic children. And somewhere along the way, enough parents had said, look, I'm actually not sure if they are a savant. I think they might just be reading my mind. Dr. Powell's primary subjects are non-speakers who are usually diagnosed with autism. Her subjects to date
Usually diagnosed with autism. So all of them don't even have autism, so.
No.
communicate by pointing to a letterboard or typing into an iPad or some sort of other speaking device. She explained doing experiments with some of these non-speakers where she'll put them in a room and put the parent or teacher or whoever they're telepathic with in another room or on the other side of a partition. Then Dr. Powell will generate random numbers or random pictures, and the non-speaker will try to type out what they believe the parent or their teacher or whoever is looking at from the other side of the room. And here's the host, Suzanne Scully, asking her how accurate the children were.
And in the time that they are
So you guys just kind of heard her background, which me and Brother Wordsmith were breaking down with you, and also kind of the blind studies they've done. And they've done some science too. They plugged them into EEGs and had some results, which we'll get into. But this is just, let's start. There's several tapes on YouTube. Is it 9 or 10? And then they're about to come out with part 2 here real soon with some more data. Did you have anything you want to comment on that before we go forward? So,
yeah, it's tremendous reach into realness. This is yeah, I'll just stop there because we're gonna explore a little bit more later.
Absolutely.
For the first time.
This email is from a medical doctor. He wrote,
Now, this is from a medical doctor for anybody's, calling us wacky conspiracy theorists.
as much as I have been trained to think otherwise, I believe that I am the guardian of a non-speaking autistic child who I had thought was a savant, but now it is inescapable to believe that he can easily read my mind. He can write down any number of words of which I am thinking, as insane as that sounds. Please call me.
She took me through an array of emails.
We have made her multiple tests, and he would answer correctly every time. Then I made up a number in my head, and she wrote it. He was writing the answers from my thoughts. She can read other people's minds besides me. Looking forward to hearing from you. Take care.
Other people's minds?
Yes. There's well, I don't really want to give it away, but there's
No, I mean, go ahead.
further tapes. They talk about just someone who's a little bit older and more accustomed to what's going on. And he says he hears everybody's thoughts all the time.
Yeah. And I think they have different levels of it. One kid would get mad because he'd be talking to other kids who didn't have the ability, to verbal kids.
Yeah.
And be frustrated that they were ignoring them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to your point, yeah. All right.
Care.
What surprised me was that all of these people from various corners of the world were all saying a version of the same thing. They had a child diagnosed with non-speaking autism. Doctors and/or educators had told the parents their children would never communicate or perceive the world beyond the level of a toddler.
Yeah. That's criminal.
Yeah, like how would they know?
They have no idea.
Right. That's from the doctors, bro.
Yeah.
But what they want you to do is put them down.
That's what they have been doing to some. But
however,
sickening for someone, to just make that determination.
Yeah, they don't do any research to sit there and say that. I didn't see any provable research done.
Through a leap of faith or a twist of fate, these parents discovered their kids were in there.
And that's another thing. So I have reason to believe that our ancestors elevated, utilized their different skills as opposed to shunned them.
I'd furthermore say that speaking and verbal communication is a lower form of communication than telepathy. And this is a decrease in our civilization, not I think what they're doing is what it was originally.
Correct. And it's again, I've been talking about the curse of tech. Written language, spoken word, spoken language was considered a technology that separates us from the beast. But again, it's a gift and a curse. It brings us into this material dogma as opposed to closer in the spiritual side and maintaining that balance. It's the reason we got two brains.
And in these cases, the kids learned to communicate via an iPad or a letterboard. And once the kids were communicating, the parents discovered through various means their children could read their minds. And they would test this unbelievable assertion over and over.
So before the internet, you had probably had people all over the world. Man, I'm telling you, this kid, nobody would believe him or listen to him. So it's their own experience they're having with their child. Maybe a couple of low-ranked teachers at the indoctrination centers and therapists were saying it, but it was just hard to connect the dots, until we got this web.
Yeah, and it's very hard to connect the dots until they start the spelling stuff. I don't know exactly when that started, but that proves so much. I mean, goodness, proves that they're there in there, proves that they're intelligent, and proves entanglement on a quantum level. And consciousness is everywhere, and it can be observed and pulled information from. It's just amazing what these children can do.
Yeah, and glad you went there. Desktop 2. You getting that?
Yeah.
Nonverbal spelling?
Yeah.
Nonverbal spelling refers to ways of communicating words or letters without using spoken or written language. It involves conveying the alphabet or specific words through other means such as gestures, signs, body movements, or visual symbols. Morse code, body language, pictograms. No, that's not what we're looking for. Specifically, use in autism study. Okay, methods used to communicate when a person has limited or no spoken language. Some individuals with autism may be nonverbal or have difficulty expressing themselves through traditional speech. Nonverbal spelling techniques can help them spell out words, communicate needs, and express thoughts without relying on spoken language. Spelling to communicate, S2C. S2C is a communication technique in which individuals with autism point to letters on a letterboard, a keyboard, or other types of communication devices to spell out words. The individual is typically guided or prompted by a facilitator, and over time, they may gain more independence in the process. How it works. The individual either uses their finger, a pointer, or a tool to select the letters as they form words. They can communicate more complex thoughts beyond simple needs and express feelings or ideas. This method helps individuals with autism who struggle with speech but still have the ability to understand language and formulate thoughts. It's especially beneficial for people with nonverbal autism or minimally verbal autism. Then there's a rapid prompting method, communication technique where a facilitator presents a letterboard, iPad, or keyboard, and the person with autism points to the letters to spell out words. The goal is to help individuals. Okay, that sounds the same. So they're just using a pointer. Letterboards are usually digital boards that display the alphabet. Picture exchange communication system. Individuals use pictures to communicate their needs and wants, though not spelling per se. It can be a way of helping someone with autism express themselves non-verbally. All right. So yeah, I just wanted to share that because I think you had mentioned we don't really know what that is.
Yeah.
Actually, you did a great job of explaining it. All right. Hold on, y'all. We got more.
Over again, only to find that it was true. Many of these parents were not believed and felt alone, and they all had the same concerns. They had concerns about educating their children. They didn't know how to hide birthday presents or candy without it being found. They didn't know how to protect their private conversations or thoughts. And what touched me the most is these parents were grappling with something that they believed to be absolutely impossible. But here they were. They were watching something unfold that had no rational explanation. And they literally had nowhere to turn but this email inbox.
So this is an email that I received from Sophia, and this is her first contact with me. Hi, Dr. Powell. I am from Mexico. I have a cousin, Mia. She is 12. She can't talk and
Prima. Cousin. Prima. It's primo if it's a guy.
didn't communicate with us before.
Interesting
Recently, she
names of
got
all these
an
children too.
iPad
Man.
and started typing things.
It's funny, he was on the same stuff I was on, bro. I actually looked up the name etymology of all of them. That's crazy.
We thought she could read books in seconds and had photographic memory. My aunt read her some paragraphs and she could finish the sentence or said on what page it was. And this may sound silly, but she is reading my aunt's mind. We have made her multiple tests, not professionally, and that's what she really does. Just her mom's mind, so far no one else's. We don't know what to do now. I greatly appreciate your time reading this. I hope you could answer me. Thank you, Sophia.
I asked Diane about the...
So in this case, it's mainly just her mom's mind.
Mm-hmm.
And to your point earlier, you said some of them have more experience, like they might be better pointers. Do you think that they could just be more, got a bigger foot into this realm as opposed to them, that they're able to share more, or like what could be causing
a couple
the
of
difference?
things. The emailer, she doesn't know. She just assumes that it's mainly her mom.
That's a good
So
point.
she she doesn't know for sure, and she just is making an assumption.
Yeah.
I think most of them have this, and they are around people who don't know anything about it and aren't aware of trying to make that communication.
Yeah, bro. It's a lot of times, bro. Yes, you'll have this brilliant savant being coming into a family that's just as quote unquote simple as could be. I mean, when I mean simple, I don't mean it no disrespect, but
Right.
hey, we go out to the field, we work the field, you know what I mean? We work our land, we come home, we're not all over the internet, we're not, studying things of consciousness and the mind, we're just living our life, which, hey, no knock on it. So yeah, they wouldn't even like we'll get into later, like me, they were Catholics. So sometimes there's a lot of other dogma that comes into place where some people will just close that off. They just close that off.
They think that they're not there, and there's nothing
Yeah.
intelligent. They only gonna be like the level of a toddler, and they get treated as such.
And maybe if I believe that, and you're the other spouse, and you're like, no, there's something different. No, you just want to believe. You just want to believe. You got to be realistic. You know what I mean? You got to be more material. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, yeah. And yeah, and it's tough on these families too, which is with
Really
the
tough. I
email.
mean, to have a nonverbal child, I can imagine. I mean, I would be way more prepared to deal with that now from hearing these
Correct.
tapes and all of that.
100%. And being an older, more patient, you know what I mean? But yeah. Which funny I mention that because a lot of times they are a result of an older union of parents. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, let me know if ever you want to take a halftime. All right. So we're going to talk about some experience and evidence, and then maybe we'll take a short break afterwards. What are some of the key findings from the telepathy tapes research, bro?
Man, that almost all of them, and if you ask them, they'll say all of them have this to varying degrees, and they also have access to other information that's in
all
the
the
consciousness.
information.
That's in the consciousness realm. They
like every thought, normally the positive ones, but all of them. I think something else allegedly happens to the negative ones. But every thought we have goes into like a Akashic record, and they have access to all of it. They got a file or book in the library. It's Brother Wordsmith, and they can go in there and get access to all of it. Einstein, all of it. It's almost like it's a collective snowball of information.
and all books, like they said, like if somebody's reading a book or something, they can tell them what page stuff is on. Finish what page it is. They have they're attached to consciousness, and it's it's more than just inside of them. We're all inside of consciousness, and they can read it.
And so can we, which we'll be talking about. Key findings suggest that some nonverbal autistic children may possess advanced telepathic abilities, allowing them to receive and transmit information without any verbal communication. These findings are challenging traditional views of communication and consciousness. We will touch on that. This is challenging big science and a lot of big religion in a big way.
Yeah, I mean, it's showing the falsehoods in these things. very much showing the falsehoods.
Pitched this to Diane, and she was gracious and open to the idea. But she wanted to Zoom with Mia's family first, and they were open to her filming this first Zoom meeting.
This is Mia.
Hi, Mia. Nice to meet you.
Yes, she's waving.
Is this the mother over here on the right?
That's right.
Yes. Nice to meet you. What is your name?
Ileana. In the Zoom image, we see Sophia, who's Mia's adult cousin, and her mother, Ileana. Sophia is the only one in the family who feels comfortable speaking English, so she's doing most of the translating. There are some other family members in the room who don't introduce themselves. I think one might be Mia's brother and her father.
Cartel.
And you can just tell that everyone's excited to be there and eager to be taken seriously.
Ileana. So I'd like to hear from her when she first started realizing that maybe this is what was going on with Mia.
Sí, ¿quieres saber cuándo fue como la primera vez que te diste cuenta que tal vez eso es lo que podía estar? Just recently, in October, November.
At this point, the adult cousin, Sophia, grabs off of the table an acrylic letterboard. It looks like a piece of paper about 8.5 by 11 inches. It's clear with letters and numbers in black written upon it.
Mia uses this board to communicate. She doesn't speak. And now with the pandemic, she's been like homeschooling. So she recently discovered that she can type like on the iPad and...
Didn't learn that in school. She learned that at the crib.
Well, the schools aren't prepared, and they deal with them
like that.
Go ahead, my bad.
They deal with them like they are a pariah and not, like the rest of the children.
They do. And like they're mentally slow.
Mm-hmm.
And
because they've been told by the doctors that they're not there, and then they're going to be like a toddler.
And you've got some drop dead gorgeous, fully mobile, gorgeous kids that don't know a percentage of the stuff they know, allegedly.
Well, they don't know anything in comparison. They've got access to consciousness, and they're not even conscious.
Because we are living in a material world. Wow.
Dile que Mia me escribió que ella podía leerla.
And Mia typed her that she could read her mind. She's aware she can do that.
Do you know how long she's been doing that?
She recalls having memories even since she was in her mom's womb.
Memories from the womb.
Yeah.
That's what she says, and that she can read her mind ever since.
And so was she developing normally and then regressed?
She was diagnosed when she was 2.5 years.
But she was already special if she got memories from the womb.
Oh, absolutely.
That's just she was diagnosed 2.5.
So she never developed language.
Because she didn't start talking. That's
right. Right.
To speak.
Nunca ha podido hablar. No, never.
And what is she most interested in?
De música.
Music. She likes music.
Music and water. A lot of them like water, Hot Tub Tory. They love music and water. Something there. There's something there.
Water. She likes water. Just
swimming. What kind of music does she like?
Mexican music.
Oh, okay.
Like Selena. Do you know Selena?
At this point, Mia walks into frame and grabs the letterboard. And then she types something that seems out of left field. Mia very deliberately writes out Monterey, where she's from.
Her mom asked her in her mind to tell her where is she from, and she says Monterey, our home.
Now, how do I know what her mom asked her in her mind? Like, somebody's got to be. Look, I'm about to ask her. I'm gonna write down on a list of paper what I'm about to be asking her in my mind. And how do I know this wasn't prepared? Hey, look, somebody's got to play the skeptic. All right.
So you're asking her these questions and then she's answering them.
But that was their thing. But wait, when the scientists, when the people doing the study, they're going to take over and make it more scientific.
I see.
When I watched this for the first time, this moment was monumentally weird to me because Ileana, the mother, will ask Mia questions with only her mind, to which Mia will answer with the letterboard. So we will not hear Ileana asking a question. But just like any mother will be like, come on, tell them where you're from, or, come on, participate. Ileana was doing that in her mind, encouraging Mia to start writing.
I noticed it looks like she's not even looking at the board. Is that true? That she oftentimes is just kind of pointing like this without even looking?
That's amazing.
Yes.
I wonder how she does that.
It's stuff that we like, oh man, look at this slow guy. No, man, they be on it, man.
Period.
Wrote in her diary that when she reads, she sees different colors.
Mia says she can see colors around numbers and letters, which is scientifically referred to as synesthesia.
So does she see colors around different letters? A is always blue, or, and C is always green?
Yes, like that. Sometimes she sees the reflection of the colors, and that's why she doesn't need to see the...
I see.
She sees a reflection of the colors. So she could be looking this way, and that's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, being able to, they're sitting right there, but they're able to communicate and know information from people that's not even in the same room or the same zip code, for that matter. This is fascinating.
And not even on the same timeline.
She sees the colors.
Mia's mom explains that Mia keeps a diary in the form of an ongoing Word document where she'll enter her thoughts and memories.
Have you ever tried doing something like thinking of a number and then she can give you the number?
At this point, Dr. Diane and the family exchange WhatsApp.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, man, you could be telling me you're going to win the Super Bowl, but how many points? We could be getting rich. It don't work like that, but man.
Information, because Diane is about to start a test.
So I'm gonna give you a number.
And she proceeds to send a number.
What are the chances that the spooks know all about this and they've been trying to use this and figured out they can't because these people don't vibrate the way they do?
Well, that's what remote viewers do.
Well, yeah, the gateway experience. That's very true. But
So,
they are nonverbals.
No, they're not. But they're using the same consciousness and being able to take access to it. So
yeah, but I wonder if the spooks ever tried to use the nonverbals as a weapon. Because they've got to know.
I mean, I know they know, but I don't. Most of the nonverbals would not do.
Oh, none of them would. They're pure artists. That's the point I'm making.
Right.
And I'm asking. I wonder if they tried to use them, and and it failed.
Possible, very possible.
Number to Ileana, who looks at it, then turns over the phone, and Mia, who's far away in the other side of the room, but we can see her, is clearly not seeing the number that's sent. And now Mia is walking from the far corner of the room where we've had eyes on her to her mother so she can begin to type what number was just sent. Mia has a huge smile on her face. It looks like she's loving this moment, and she types in the correct number.
Very good. Okay. Let me try sending a word.
No, that's how it's translated, okay?
Dr. Diane sends the family a word. Mia comes over again, a huge, huge smile on her face, and she correctly types in the word.
She's got a beautiful smile. Yeah, that's good. So is she pretty much 100% accurate? I mean, is she always accurate, or does she sometimes make mistakes?
She's 100% accurate so far.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And does she like doing the telepathy?
She said that she prefers to talk with her mom, like telepathy, instead of speak.
So
but they're forcing her to speak, and she can't learn how to she won't be able to get a job and support herself. And we're just not using this tech right. We'd rather build a quantum Google chip. And it's all right there.
It is definitely quantum.
Yeah, man.
They are quantumly entangled. They say that every cell of our bodies is quantumly entangled with consciousness and can There's no such thing as space, what you're entangled with. So no time, no space.
One of these kids put their hand on a book.
Read the book.
And read the book.
Knew it. Absorbed the book. Maybe that's a better.
Yeah, he learned it by osmosis.
Yeah, just touching it and saying, and immediately too.
And wasn't even putting all this emphasis on it. You know, you're over here, you just touch that book, you ain't even focus on it. And we call them slow.
It explains why some of them get so over exposed to
things they touch
or to anything. It's like because they hear everything all the time. And
there's so much information
coming. Yeah, they can't. It's overloading them. They can't take it.
But you know what? I had a theory, and I put it on one of these chats. You know how they said 10 hats literally keep those frequencies out? Yeah. I would fashion some sort of a 10 helmet or a hat they can wear, and it might help block out some of that stimulation so they can get some sleep or whatever, block it out when they want to. Something similar to what you got on, but it'll probably block out some of that, assuming it's coming from the crown. You know, assuming it's coming from the top of the dome.
Tell me a little bit more about your reaction to this when you discovered that she could read your mind. Did she think that it was impossible?
At the beginning, she thought it was impossible. And the next day, that when she went to wake her up, she had a word in her mind. And Mia, as soon as she woke up, she typed
Mochila morada, me acuerdo.
Purple school bag. That's what she was thinking. And Mia wrote that in the iPad.
If that was hard to hear, when Mia first said to the family, "I can read your mind," they thought it was impossible. However, the day after that admission occurred, Ileana, Mia's mother, walked into the bedroom, woke her up for the day, and said, "What am I thinking about?" And Mia wrote on her iPad, "purple bag." And Ileana was thinking about her purple bag. So that moment won her over. They go on to talk a lot about Mia's interests, her health profile, whether or not she's eaten gluten, certain things that might impact Mia's body. The conversation ensues and it's fascinating.
Is it hard to keep things hidden from her?
Her mom, she hides things, not only secrets, but things like objects. And Mia always finds them.
This one girl, she liked to eat potato chips. And when her parents would try to say, "Oh, we don't have any chips left," she knew exactly how many chips were left.
Mia says that she remembers also her first appointment with a neurologist.
What did she say about that?
That she went when she was 6 months old, and that the doctor mistaken her diagnosis because he said that she had microcephalia, and that he was wrong. Her diary, where she types things like
wrong. And probably because of that misdiagnosis, she's where she is now, locked in. And she knows it. And you gotta go stand around these same dumb doctors and teachers and people, you know, not dumb. They're not dumb.
Some of them are.
As if telepathy
at minimum
they weren't enough to process, Mia has also journaled about memories which go back to her earliest weeks of life. And you'll discover, as I did, as we meet more and more families, that telepathy is just the tip of the iceberg. But then the conversation took another unexpected turn. And you'll hear Mia's brother talk here for the first time.
That ever since they discovered that she had telepathy skills, she can't sleep with the lights off. We don't know why.
Sometimes when she's in her room, I see her like looking around and she starts laughing as well.
Do you ever ask her what she sees when she's looking around?
People. She says she sees people.
I realize that this seems way off topic, but the family didn't think it was. And they certainly aren't the only family.
She says she sees people
who will say their kids could.
Yeah, they're able to talk to the other side.
All dimensions. Because this won't be one consciousness in all the dimensions. And I think that's, you know, they say, yeah, you know, we let off the nuclear testing and it's is vibrating through all the dimensions. It's vibrating through all of the consciousness.
Can see things that they simply can't.
Really appreciate meeting all of you and appreciate you taking the time. And I really want to help. I feel that these children, they're not getting their educational needs met. Yeah,
You really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. I appreciate it too.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Bye.
Dr. Diane got what she needed to believe it was worth having Mia's family come up to America for some formal tests. So now it's game on.
You start shaking your head. They're not getting the. That's the spelling is the most key part of this. They can communicate to the doctor just what's going on with them, their parents, what kind of dietary needs they need, but and we don't believe them and tap into it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. Well, if you have no belief or no interest and you think that it's nothing in there, then that's how you approach that.
Yeah, you mean that's what you've been told, and that's what you've been taught at the highest, most prestigious medical schools. Because how can they literally tell someone, even with vegetables? I always wondered about that. Yeah, he's not in there. How do you know? Have you ever been a vegetable before?
But you don't know. You don't know nothing.
And if they do know, they know that the medical people don't want to be paying. You better have some money, like, not Carl saying those people who can roll around, you know what I mean, and pay for that care, you know. Yeah, but you've gone through the tapes more recently than me, and it's something we're gonna dive into a bit more when we do part 2 of this sometime in the future. But you mentioned they have these names, which I never even talked to you about, because I had actually I looked it all up, like, wow. So what type of messages overall are they giving to humankind?
Some spiritualness to them. There's also some, hey, we are, not normal, but we know stuff and we can hear you. We can hear your thoughts. We're here. Don't treat us like we're nothing, because there's a lot of loneliness in it. And I guess so. If you can't really communicate with anybody, that's got to be rough, especially when you're trying. You know you are, and they're not receiving it.
Seems to be a message of love, acceptance. What about the kid that it was the therapist's first day working at that school, and the therapist saw like a glowing orb over the kid, and the kid telepathically, allegedly, communicated to her, "That's my spirit body, and you're here to help me calibrate my spirit body with my physical body, because they're not in alignment. They're not calibrated right." And that kid was 4 years old in this realm.
Yeah. Well, they seem to be more adept. They're like got a foot in this simulation and foot outside of it, slightly outside of it.
You think if you did some ayahuasca and you're with them, that it'll probably open you up to more of their what they're seeing and how they communicate?
Absolutely.
These are the types of experiments that science should and could be doing, but they think everything's wacky, except for the type of wacky experiments they're doing, blowing everything up.
Well, I mean, they actually are doing a lot of these experiments. They call them black ops in situations where they're not admitting it to the public, or what you say.
So if I can send images to you and thoughts to you and communicate to you, there'd be no need for a cell phone. And what I'm saying is that's big time business. It seems like material science only wants to promote science that they can charge us for, is what I'm trying to say.
Also, they want stuff that will kill you. You know,
that too.
So cell phones will kill you. You don't have a device to block the radiation. A lot of this stuff, so-called tech, like you said, like speech and language and all of that, has been to control us.
Right. Correct. Maybe the Anunnaki. We don't want to get too far off topic, but correct, bro. That's really what it seems like. Control us and charge us for things. Even when we talked about the internet years ago, I mean, it's like what people have always been doing, and then I don't know. It just seems awfully ironic that every bit of sci-fi we see comes into the material world, and maybe these two things are working hand in hand.
Well, they're holding back the technology, what have you, to piecemeal it out and get paid off of it. And then they put these sci-fi films and all that as predictive programming, so that.
But even that technology was a thought.
Oh yeah, it's all a thought. Everything that's in this, everything that comes into this.
So what comes first, the chicken or the thought?
The thought comes before anything.
So, superposition, quantum states. So are we, the observer issue. When we observe an electron in a quantum state, it collapses. It becomes one option. Is it giving us that option? Or since we're observing it, I feel like we're giving it the option. So it's going to be in this random state until I observe it. So my question is it choosing its state randomly for me? Or is it something that my consciousness is doing to it when it's in its random state that's making it collapse into the decision it made? This is the question.
The latter. And the observer is part of the process. So making a creation, the observer is very much choosing.
Good. But if it's a pre-programmed matrix, it could be collapsing based upon my vibration, my frequency. So it may collapse differently if you're observing it because of your particular frequency. Do you see what I'm saying?
Exactly what I'm saying. The observer.
Right, but I'm saying
is affecting it.
Yes, the observer could be affecting it, but without creating it. It could be affecting it just by. In other words, I'm on a frequency. It collapses based upon the frequency I'm on. But not necessarily I'm consciously doing something for it to choose what it collapses to. I guess if that made any sense. That's what I'm trying to get.
It does. It does. I mean, yeah. We're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
I think you're specifying a little bit more, saying a little differently, but.
Well, it's two different things. I'm not saying we're on different sides of it. It could be that the universe is revealing something to me every time I observe something, or I'm revealing something to the nothing. You know what I mean? And the nothing, I guess it is the same thing. You're right. You're right. The nothing is only becoming something based upon my frequency.
Yes.
This is madness. All right.
the scientific method, but I just wanted to be in charge of buying all the cues, all the props, the blindfold, booking all the crew, booking the home.
All right, so they got
just
serious.
so that it was bulletproof. I understand the high degree of skepticism trying to justify everything I'm pulling out of the box when the night before I had said we have to scale back on ordering out. I don't want Dr. Powell to bring the stuff. I don't want the families to bring the stuff. I just want to be like the layer for the skeptics where it's like, you know, get this up on Amazon. I'm not even gonna open it until the day of. I think that's the way to go. So you can turn that off. And the next step was finding an Airbnb that was affordable, and she speaks Spanish fluently. So I asked her if she would volunteer her time to. Says I'm a good student and I'm going to do well. My mom asks me how I feel about having autism. I can't speak. Prior to the testing day, I sent Mia various questions so I could get to know her better. And here are some of Mia's thoughts in her own words. I am Mia, and I have autism. I can't speak. I communicate by writing. I'm not sick. I like mathematics. I'm very intelligent. I don't like earrings, and I don't like dresses. They are uncomfortable. It would be nice to be me without dresses. My mom asks me how I feel about having autism. I feel good. We are all good at something. I can't imagine being any other way. I am happy. When I grow up, I'm going to sell my book.
That's interesting because that's how I feel about being copper-colored.
Yeah.
The money, I'm going to go on vacation to Japan. I like Japan because it's so developed. On Monday, I start high school and I don't want to. My mom says I'm a good student and I'm going to do well. I don't like the teacher. I feel like she thinks I don't know things. I like the kids. I don't even know if they will like me. Imagine not being able to talk.
So she likes the kids. So she's already been in their minds, huh? She said she don't know if they'll like me. Yeah, it sounds like she know the kids already. Ain't even been there.
She ain't got to be.
Sometimes it hurts like hell. Autistic people can do anything. It's a lie that we can't. We find it more difficult, but we can. It would be possible if they believed in us more. No one knows what life is worth, but don't tell me it doesn't matter. Today, we are on trial. Only the good memories will remain. The good memories. Let's record thousands of memories.
Yeah, the good memories.
Okay, it's testing day, and there's a lot going on. Mia, her father, her mother, and her cousin Sophia, who originally reached out, are all at the house. And so is a crew of about 6 people. The house is a mid-century ranch in Glendale.
Don't get past that. The hill, Self. What is the hill, and what's the overall implication in your mind of the hill?
The hill is a place that is set aside for them, for nonverbals to commiserate and come together.
Is it a physical place they go to? Drive up there?
No, it's not a physical place. It's definitely a metaphysical place. It is a place, though, because they all talk about it and know about it, which is amazing.
Yeah, you got to be invited, but you got to know the frequency. And there's multiple hills, apparently. But yeah, each hill has its own dial-in code, so to speak.
Yeah, and they can dial into any individual wherever they are anyway.
Okay, hold it there. And that's what I've been saying the last couple of weeks. I told you the other day. I laid down to go to sleep, and I was going through all this and working on the gateway, and I heard some dialing and a hum right there at the top. But it's like I felt like it was a frequency being given to me by someone. But go ahead. You were talking about the hill.
Where they go to commiserate from wherever they are.
What's the implication of
there's quantum entanglement is real, that space and time is an illusion in a sense. Because they can pinpoint on a frequency and meet there without leaving their space.
And how they found out about this place, let's say if Brother Wordsmith was working with somebody in New York, teaching these individuals and I can be in Greenland, and the class is talking to me about the hill. They're spelling the hill and mentioning the hill in conversation. Oh, how do you know Tori's son? Oh, I met him on the hill. And then different people are like, this can't be a coincidence that all of them are talking about the hill and they've never met each other.
Right. And then they be talking about people that are their best friends that their parents don't know or have never seen. And it's like, wow.
And it really makes you wonder if our little ones, when they come into this realm, if they're popping up on the hill and still doing things like that before they get out of theta, bro.
Most likely, absolutely. I mean, I don't know. My children used to be looking off into the corner, giggling and things, and looking at nobody, and I mean, paying attention and cooing and smiling at them and all of that.
Yeah.
And I'm looking like, who do you see? And they have an ability to go past the normal physical
time and space.
Yeah, and frequencies. These bodies are set from supposedly from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, and there are many more hertz than that.
Yeah. There's Hurts is the quarterback of the Eagles. Don't forget about Jalen Hurts.
These physicality is limited at best. It's a lot more stuff going around than we can see or experience through our senses.
Amen. I want to bore you guys real quick and pardon the boredom. I asked ChatGTP, bro, give me a model. Create a realistic mathematical model for telepathy is a highly speculative endeavor, as telepathy is not scientifically proven and lacks empirical data. They're lying. It does not lack empirical data.
Well, AI doesn't know that they don't have access to the information. And that's why it's not intelligent.
Damn. But China just dropped their form of AI, and it's a lot cheaper, but we'll get into that at some other point. However, we can hypothesize a model based on the idea of brainwave. Now, you're a scientist. Synchronization and quantum entanglement. Here's a conceptual framework. Hypothetical model for telepathy 1. Brainwave for telepathy. 1. Brainwave synchronization. Let capital B _1 and then a T, I think that's tau, and capital B was that beta _2, I think that's tau, represent the brainwave functions of two individuals over time. Does that make sense to you? Because this stuff always shut down when they start giving me all these little symbols. Shit.
Synchronicity is, I mean, that sounds about right.
All right, because I know you're at University of Illinois looking at these symbols. You had those fancy calculators with all those little shit on there. Telepathic communication occurs when B _ beta _1 times tau and beta _2 times tau achieve a certain level of sync. Define a synchronization function S T as follows. ST equals / int, so I guess that's integer. Like, what does all this mean? But anyway, telepathy is considered successful when ST is below threshold epsilon. Like, it literally gave a quantum equation, bro. I got to get this to Stanford. Assume each person's mind has a set of quantum states, psi _1 and psi _2. The entanglement, which you've been talking about, between two minds can be represented by a shared wave function, psi, with this quote, psi, not quote, but colon, / psi, equals alpha / psi, and a bunch of stuff here. All right, beta, you see that? Psi, you see? Telepathic I think if we add Kappa, we're gonna do it. Telepathic communication requires maintaining a high degree of entanglement. The entanglement measures, capital E, can be represented by the von Neumann, Charlie Newman, entropy. E psi equals text TR, whatever it is, log. All right. Is the density here is the density matrix of the system, and telepathy is effective when E whatever exceeds a certain threshold, combining both models to combine the brainwave synchronization and quantum entanglement models define a combined telepathic communication efficiency function. Successful telepathic communication occurs when T is above a certain threshold. This framework provides a speculative basis for telepathy, combining synchronization and entanglement principles. It serves as a theoretical foundation for further exploration through empirical validation. Is beyond our current specific capabilities. Before you try to make that make sense, I asked it, I think to create an image of the model, a 3D image, and then it said I can't discuss this anymore.
Yeah, and then he probably wouldn't. Yeah.
I don't think it was supposed to give me this.
Yeah, I'll just give an example. Well,
Yeah.
I think we communicated telepathically on the basketball court. There was lots of times when we knew exactly what the other was going to do.
And we could know what the other team was going to do sometimes too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you're in that zone on the court, you know what everybody's doing out there. And
it doesn't matter what anybody's doing when you're on that zone. You can disrupt everything.
Because you're seeing everything from another dimension. You might not consciously know, right? I know when I'm in the zone, bro.
It's like nobody's there, even though they're there.
Yes. And when they're there, you just you just make one little step and you're like bam, and you're yes. When you're not in the zone, I'm thinking when you're in the total opposite framework of that, everything you do, you're running into people, you're falling, you're hitting the ground. It's gonna be tough out there. I don't know, man. I don't know what that's a bunch of mumbo jumbo, but I'll get it to my science friends, see if they can make any sense out of it.
It was very, very tiny too, so I couldn't see it well. And I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But somebody was telling me that her son asked these types of questions to the internet. Yeah, a lot, and has come up with a lot of shit. But I just found that the most strange thing about that was when they told me, it was like it realized, I'm not supposed to be. Who are you? You're not even signed in on this thing. All right, hold on. We got a little bit more for y'all. Then we're going to summarize it from our point of view. Advance that, pickups the Karen.
Room, except for a gray fabric couch where we will position Mia. And
technically, we have a camera here that's going to be 3 of you. We need to make sure the GoPro can see over her shoulder so we can see the number. And then every time that you have your cue, I'll just bring a divider in and put it between Ileana and Mia. The flash.
So now they're coming in, you guys, and the family's not in control of nothing.
Nope.
All right. Nothing.
Eliminating any of she's being told ahead of time and or they clues or whatever, cluing them to do anything.
We need to pitch this show to Big Holly. You and I, we can sit there and we can have a scientist in there, and they can have the nonverbals on there and doing this and that. And then if they get a certain percentage, we give them a big amount of money to help them with their education and their care. You know what I mean? And get the messaging out there. I'd watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a reality show. Who wants to be a nonverbal millionaire? Something like that.
Cards that I had, the numbers only go up to 10, which That is not.
They'd be paying out all the time.
I was thinking about that. Had to come up with something different, student loans, something. You're right. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. You probably have to, whatever the percentage is, make it a little bit higher. Well, you want to give them something. We'll figure it out.
Great. So we were talking about is using a random number generator. So Dr. Powell, what numbers do you want to put in there?
I would like to try 3-digit numbers, so there'll be numbers between 100 and 999.
Now you got Dr. Powell, who Brother Wordsmith reminded me. Yeah, she was discredited by her colleagues. Dr. Powell's in here, and she's serious about this because nobody wants to be discredited by their colleagues.
Man,
I'm putting all of
her license. Man. That's crazy.
And then after all the fighting and years later, yeah, we can give it back, but all the damage was done.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they snatched her license without looking at anything that she said.
Yeah.
Anything that she presented. They said,
Yeah.
"Oh, what? Telepathy?
Yeah.
Get out of here."
Because
out of here.
It's not that they thought she was crazy. It's that maybe some people don't want these truths that are self-evident to be given to the common sheeple.
Absolutely. They don't want anything.
Listen here.
Go ahead.
They don't want anything given to the sheeple, except for what they want them to follow. They want them to buy.
Because you know, we always call them. We used to call these children gifted, special. It wasn't special needs. Everyone told you, your ancestor self and your elders, when you saw one of those kids and you tried to point and make fun or whatever the case might have been, that kid's gifted. That kid's special. Now, I wonder why. I wonder why those were the terms that the indigenous people was using to describe these people who we now call, you know, savants and autistic.
They knew that they were in there.
Gifted. Gifted. I have to look that word up so everybody can see, because I mean, of all the words we could have chosen, the irony on that doesn't escape.
Remember gifted as much as I do special.
Oh, I remember gifted. It's school for the gifted. Oh yeah, you're right though. Define gifted. You're right. I think I might have been confusing schools for the gifted for the schools for the special. I think you might be right. Gifted typically refers to individuals who show exceptional abilities or talents in one or more areas compared to their peers. These abilities may be in fields such as intellectual ability, intellectual creative giftedness. Yeah, you might be right. Let's look up special. Yeah, because I think school for the gifted. I just think I said, this kid's slow in here. Let's see. The word special can have various meanings depending on the context. It can mean distinct or unique, important or significant. And in the context of disabilities, one often used in phrases like special needs to refer to individuals who may require extra support. Yeah, special needs. Context, this usage, special. Okay. Privilege. Yeah, but I don't think we were saying special needs years ago. I think we were just calling them special.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so we was playing this snippet.
Here, just to make sure people understand that the crew and
So the doctors here, y'all, they got everything broken down. We're going to get to it.
myself went through great crew, myself and Dr. Powell, because as I noted previously, he's my resident skeptic. And laughing, we all kept checking in with her. Away the partition, and Mia is going to take off her mindfold number for long enough. Maybe the telepathy wouldn't work. Let her stare at it for just a minute and show Michael's camera. Have experienced this in their own home. They think Mia is telepathic, and they need to know, is she? Just to set the scene here, Dr. Powell hit a random number into the random number generator. Then we asked her to hit it again and again, so we made sure it was super random.
So we're going to go for this number.
Okay, and then show Michael's camera. And then show Ileana. And Ileana stare at it for a while. There's a blindfold on Mia, and she's on the other side of a partition from her mother. I got frustrated with myself when I rewatched this for injecting myself too much in this moment, because I was concerned that if Ileana didn't see the number for long enough, maybe the telepathy wouldn't work. Let her stare at it for just another second, maybe.
Míralo un poquito.
The number that was generated was 698. Dr. Powell has just shown all the cameras in the room, and she shows Ileana. Dr. Powell is putting the iPad.
Yeah, and she says she got upset because she thought if the mom didn't see the number long enough, it would affect Mia's reading. At this point, she don't understand.
No.
Bro, one of those tests they was doing in some of the other tapes, dude was saying the answer before the mom had even
verbalized
the
question.
Yes.
As soon as she thought it, before she could say it, he was already...
Face down. We're taking away the partition, and Mia is going to take off her blindfold, so she can type. Okay. All right, and if she wants to take it off now, she can.
¿Se puede quitar? Running at 6. 9. 8.
That was it? Very good. So Mia got the number correct, and everyone was acting so calm, like this was normal, and I think everyone was just feeding off of each other and acting calm. But I was freaking out inside, and I wanted to go again and again and again. Mia was smiling and laughing. We all kept checking in with her and the family, and everyone wanted to keep going, which I was very happy about.
Okay. Okay, here's the number.
Okay. When it's clear to put the board, let me know. Okay. Is okay?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Ahora se sube.
We generated another number, and the number was 956. Mia has her mindfold, which is a very intense blindfold on, and she's behind a partition. Dr. Powell shows the number to the cameras and to her mother, and now she's putting the iPad face down, and we're about to pull away the partition and remove the mindfold.
956.
Was that it?
That was it.
Wow. The room felt electric. Mia got that one right too, and you could tell the family was so relieved that Mia had the same accuracy here.
I mean, to get one of those right is enough for me. To randomly pull out 956, do you know what I mean? And okay, and then you do it twice. I don't need any further testing.
Well,
how many times you want to do it? 1,000,000 times?
Yeah, there's a lot of skeptics and all of that, and they're gonna, maybe they,
Yeah, but they don't think
tipped
logic.
her off, and they would have tipped it off. I don't know.
Yeah, but they can tip her off 1,000,000 times if that's the case. What I'm saying is, man, pull out a 3-digit number. That's why the doctor wanted a 3-digit number. Like to be able to pull that out is. I hear you though, bro. And okay, and even if these nonverbals could be a part of such a sham, parlor trick, then they're smarter than everybody's giving them credit for, and that's already been proven. They're communicating somehow.
Yeah. Period.
Yeah. How about that?
Here in front of the neuroscientist that she had at home. We check in with Mia. Everyone wants to continue going. We continue to do well over 20 tests with Mia and her mother, and she was correct every single time.
20 tests.
Yeah.
And now we're going to do a different test with Mia. We have 6 different color popsicle sticks: yellow, purple.
This was crazy.
Blue, green, etc. We're spreading the sticks out on a round end table that we grabbed from the living room. We have placed different color popsicle sticks about 6 inches apart from one another in 2 rows of 3. Then one by one, we will hand Mia different color popsicle sticks, and while blindfolded, she needs to put each one in the appropriate colored pile. So if we hand her a yellow stick, for example, she'll need to put it in the yellow pile, all while having the mindfold on. All of this is so mind-blowing. I'm not even sure what we're testing here, but it seems...
This blew my mind, bro. I was like, I got to watch the rest of these tapes, bro. This is crazy. How can you even see colors with a blindfold on?
She sees frequency, and colors have frequency. Yeah, all of them make.
She's blindfolded. Yeah,
so
it's got to be. Yeah, it's got to be the sound. Yeah.
Seems to me that we're testing, can she just see through the mindfold?
Okay. And she's going to hand her the popsicle stick. Ponlo donde van los colores.
Mia was just handed
That's what, remember the other one was saying. I can see everything. That's why I said when you see the nonverbals, they be like, look at me, I don't know what you looking at. And they, you know, the self, they be doing whatever they doing, but they can see everything, bro. They can see everything.
A green popsicle stick, and she put it into the green pile.
¿Dónde va? Muy bien, Mia. Suelto. Okay.
We start doing the test, and Mia accurately puts sticks into the various piles. However, we notice that our piles are so spread apart that she's having a difficult time moving her body in such a way to reach the far yellow pile. So we move the piles a bit closer together, and she continues with her accuracy.
The skeptic. You gave the skeptic something to, oh, they moved that pile over there.
They moved all of the piles, though.
Yeah,
she said they moved all of the piles closer, which means they would all be in different spaces than they were. So that would be harder, not easier.
If there's any skeptic out watching, we want to hear from you guys in the comments. Once you guys come up, was it ball lightning? What's going on? What is it? Swamp gas? What are we seeing here? This lady from Harvard and everybody's all just putting on a big sham to sell books.
You would see a bunch of ignorance is what you'd actually see.
You actually would. You would detect a bunch of it.
In fact, what you see on the footage is that she put the green sticks where the green sticks go, the red sticks where the red sticks go, the purple sticks where the purple sticks go, etc., as though she can see through her blindfold. When the test was done, I was in complete shock and didn't even know the correct question to ask. So I asked, can she see through her mother's eyes? And they asked her that, and she said, no, I can see everywhere. After the room had seen Mia accurately display her mind reading abilities again and again with random numbers and random pictures, that now feels commonplace. But this...
I can see everywhere. So, what implications, in your mind's eye, do the telepathy tapes, and you guys, we always implore you, absorb all the information, make your own decision, they have skeptics who came through the process. They went out and found skeptics and wanted them to witness it. The skeptics were changed their whole framework. Yeah.
One guy was like, man, wow, do I have to believe in God now?
He sure did say it. Sure did. What implications do the telepathy tapes research findings have for our understanding of our consciousness? In your mind's eye, Phil, what's spirit telling you?
We live in consciousness. This whole simulation is consciousness, the whole thing, and you can have access to it. And quantum entanglement is real. I mean, it's nowhere around that. Like, you got people that can see through other people, and people that can read the frequencies of other people's minds, and people saying they can see everywhere. So it didn't matter that they had her behind the partition and all of that.
And they can communicate.
She could see it off the card.
And they could communicate with entities that have left this realm, with people who died in the past and stuff like that.
Yes. They have a much higher range of frequencies that they can experience and observe.
And remember, they asked one of them about reincarnation, and he said, well, all your lives, your previous lives and your future lives are all running concurrently. They're all running right now.
Yeah.
And thoughts that you have, some of these thoughts you have, I remember you said, where'd that thought come from? Remember you said that? I'll be having thoughts. And some of the thoughts that you have could be coming from the other yous in the other dimensions. And thus some of your thoughts are going to the other yous in the other dimensions as well. Now, none of this can be proven. What does that mean, proven?
They want something that you can observe in these 5 minor senses.
Right. I was just saying, as you're thinking, as you were saying it, like you tell the magician says, "Hey, I can make this fruit disappear." And you say, "Prove it," and then they do something, and then it's gone. You know what I mean? That's not proof. You're not going to believe that. If validated, bro, according to the AI, these findings could revolutionize our understanding of human consciousness, suggesting that telepathic communication is a natural extension of normal brainwave function. This could lead to new approaches in communication and therapy for nonverbal humans.
Well, that's absolute fact. And it's already, I mean, if they don't do something different after this, then it's straight just they just on some BS.
Yeah, because they know. Like, they know. They 100% know, bro. And it's probably a reason why, because again, these people are special. And with their access to the cloud, this society could be a whole lot better if we just tapped into that resource that they can tap into.
Yeah, because we'll have some truth and honesty.
100%.
And they'll expose everything, and it'll be upfront what's going on.
Yeah, we could flat out trust it. Yeah, not all this spooky action at a distance. 100%, bro. But you know why? Because they're not moving with ego, you know? Yeah, greed, none of that.
No, which is currently the leader of the world now.
Yeah, and I think they said like we all have one of them was explaining how we all have it's like when you're on social media, you got a public profile, and then it's like there's some thoughts, like there has to be a willingness to share thoughts. And it could just be because they're so good. Like they don't just go in and just, you know, dig into your thoughts.
Right. They could if they wanted to, though.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't. They don't. They don't want to. They don't see the point of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pure-hearted.
And one thing
you have to be a very pure-hearted to come here under those circumstances, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I had an experience, bro. There's a lady crossing the street nearby here with a nonverbal, copper colored. He looked like he might have been, 20 maybe. And he had some sort of like deformity on his head and mouth, and his mom was holding him. And I'm driving by myself, and I said, let me see if I can communicate with this brother using my mind. And I started just focusing. And bro, he turned around because I'm saying he turned around and was looking, was looking and staring. His mom's trying to pull him, and he was looking and staring, bro.
Well, I'm sure you could hear your thoughts. I mean, if you're trying to communicate with them, it's the other way around that we struggle with.
Well, correct. But those are tests we can do. When you see nonverbal people, you can communicate with them like that and see their reaction. You could probably be like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, raise your hand up if you can hear this. You know what I mean? I can't hear you, but you know what I mean? That kind of thing, bro. You can kind of test it yourself. I know you're in there, that kind of thing. Say, words of encouragement and stuff. Test it. But that was the first time I tested it, bro, and it kind of blew my mind. And then, like I was telling you, my sister-in-law, bro, she worked for years with nonverbal individuals. And she said the company she worked for referred to them as individuals. And I remember she used to pull up on the block with them sometimes. She'd have a van with about 6, 7 of them in there. And to your point, Self, they were all pure and happy, and there was no ill malice. Just talk about being present. Talk about being in a moment. But don't try to screw them over. Some of them are partially verbal. They don't like to. Yeah, they don't like to just be. They don't like to be. Don't screw them over.
No, because they know what's going on, and you think they don't. Everybody think they slow. That's probably what
Yes, you taking their money. Yes, yeah, yes, yes, bro. Yes, that's pretty much what they were saying too, bro. That man, and and that we need to be a little bit, and that's just our kids. We all been kids, but we got to be more vigilant. I think in how we raise our children and how we educate them about different people. Don't wait for the situation to occur. Maybe you already be discussing these kind of things.
Popsicle stick test feels like a new frontier.
Okay, mía, muy bien.
I look at Michael, who's behind the camera, and he looks shaken up. So I ask him what he's thinking.
I've seen it. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I wouldn't do it as a skeptic. I'm generally a skeptic in my life, most.
Mm-hmm. I'm talking about what else?
He's a skeptic.
Oh, he sounds privy.
Thanks. But through seeing this, I can't. It's hard for me to not believe this is authentic. I'm looking at everything. I'm watching her. I'm watching the mom. I'm watching.
But this skeptic, now he knows how it feels to be skepticized, because skeptics are going, we don't believe you. You're lying. You know what I mean? See, the thing about the skeptic is they have to see everything with their own eyes, ears, and lower senses.
Period.
And even then, they can lie to themselves. I just need more sleep. You know what I mean?
Now, this one's had too many times. He's like, oh, well,
yeah.
Can't be skeptical against,
Yeah.
And everything. And
you're there
for me and my
filming it too.
Yeah.
Perspective, it's real.
Yeah.
I mean.
And Rebecca, you came today, an animator by trade. You just came as a friend because you speak Spanish and as a complete outsider. Like, what did you take away?
That there is something at play that we as humans don't see because we're busy with our senses, like we're busy with the tactile world. This is proof. It's just proof of that. She spelled out horse in Spanish. Like, that's out of this world, because if someone's blindfolded, there's something else happening there.
So I want to ask the mom a question while we're rolling.
I also asked the family what they believed about telepathy or ESP before Mia revealed that she could read minds. And this is how Sophia answered.
We have never read nothing about telepathy or psychic skills, or we don't know anything about it. I think we still know very little. We started looking up information after we saw that she does it. I think before that we didn't even believe that could be possible. But it's so clear what she does that there's no doubt that she can do it.
My favorite test had to do with a book I brought from home, something she'd never seen. And to me, this was just remarkable.
So Ileana, close the book.
What you see on screen is Ileana, who's got the book toward the camera, and Mia is facing the opposite direction.
Okay, and then just open up to any page.
When Ileana landed on a page, we'd ask Mia the page number, and she would correctly state the page number that she'd flipped to. Sometimes we'd point to a...
Can you imagine if you had these abilities and some jackass was in school thinking you can't even spell? I mean, come on. You had this attitude with the abilities you had in class listening to some jack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? And the only problem is, Sophie, is you're just locked in to a certain extent. You imagine that, but they're just good people. They don't even have the thoughts that I would have that would be entertaining the shit out of me. Like, look at this jackass. You know what I mean? Yeah.
He thinks I'm stupid and don't know nothing.
Yes.
Word on a page that we had just opened to, and she would correctly spell out the word. We did this a few times.
And I could tell him what he had for breakfast this morning.
With both Ileana opening up the book and some of the crew opening up the book.
And now with the number, the numeral on the page.
Ahora hazlo con el número que tiene.
¿Qué página tengo aquí? 1, 3. Which one was it?
Muy bien, Mía.
Uno más.
One more. En la página 26 hay un personaje, en la página 26. ¿Me puedes decir?
Ileana was flipping through this book, and again, it's a book I brought from home, and there is a picture of a pirate on page 26. And so she stops there and gets excited and is asking Mia, what picture are we looking at on page 26? Again, the book is facing clearly away from Mia. She cannot see it at all.
¿Qué personaje es? Who?
Mia got excited before they even asked her what she was looking at.
She was looking at it already. She ain't have to look through her mom's eyes. She could see everywhere.
Which is amazing. It's amazing, bro. Like when you're around these people and you see their reactions to stuff. And it could be something you're doing, you know what I mean? And it's just that we're not reading it right to understand what they're drawing off of.
We have her out-of-body experience all the time.
Yeah. Like even when they get upset or frustrated, it's for a reason. And looking at this, it could be for all types of stuff. You notice how they don't like certain people? People come around there with that energy. People come around there who don't like them, you know, who think they're evil or something wrong with them, you know, or who are afraid of them.
One mom said that she was having a horrible day and the child was crying and just down. And she, you know, when she realized what she was doing, she asked her about it. And she was saying, because you're sad.
100%. 100%. 100%.
A. Tú. A.
So
she clearly types Pirata, which spells pirate in Spanish. I love this moment because the crowd.
Oh, that's another thing. They be knowing all kind of languages.
I mean, they're connected to consciousness.
All kind of languages, old ancient languages.
Yeah, hieroglyphics.
Hieroglyphics. And some of these, the stuff we can't decode, like on that crop circle. Some of these ancient texts we can't decode. Yeah. One of them, I'm sure could decode it.
Yeah. Pretty sure.
Yeah, remember the ones that, he wears different hats when he goes into the consciousness realm and he gets all this information. There's 9 hats, he was saying. And he can get all, it's different subject matters. And puts it on and he just gets the information. Like, that's just crazy.
The crowd just goes wild. At this point, everyone in the room had their mind blown. If someone on the crew wasn't won over by the random flashcards or the random number generator or the popsicle stick test, they were by this book test.
I mean, if they weren't won over by the end, bro,
we decided to start pushing the envelope, and we tried to see if Mia could do telepathy tests with her father. We tried random number generators, random picture generators.
Her dad is a materialist.
Okay, so there's the number.
Okay, let Daddy look at it. Okay, Mia, you can take off the blindfold.
And she could absolutely not tell us what her dad was looking at.
There's something going on with that relationship. I'm not saying he's in the cartel, but it's just something there.
I mean, if he's a materialist, he don't think she's there all the way, and he's not into it.
Yeah. Could even be ashamed of her to a certain extent. I mean, I don't know. I'm just really projecting a whole lot of my dogma on them. But I think they'll probably explain why.
Sometimes we'd show her dad a flashcard or a number, and Mia would start typing and then stop. And sometimes she wouldn't even type at all.
Because maybe it's just that she's best at reading Ileana's mind. I mean, that's
what
yeah.
Maybe.
They said she would start typing and then stop. It's like he might have a root on him.
It's a disconnect between them, that's for sure.
Test with her dad wore Mia out. She wanted some snacks, and so while she left the room, we asked her mom some casual questions. Her mom had mentioned that the family was deeply Catholic. I asked her mother about her gut reaction when Mia first revealed this, especially in light of her faith. You'll hear Rebecca, our translator, often in this conversation.
So when she said that she could read her mind, she did feel afraid.
Miedo porque no sabía cómo la gente la iba a ver.
She doesn't understand even how to speak to their friends about her abilities.
Que la vean como algo así oscuro, como
That people
algo.
would see her
Pero
something dark.
That got stepped on there, but what Ileana was expressing is a fear that people might see Mia as something dark.
And I think her dad feels that way.
Yeah.
He's probably come to terms with it, but and that could be, I don't know how to hold the catholics. You know what I mean? I don't know. Because the Catholic priest would come in there and say that's a demon and give her an exorcist or something. Maybe. I don't know. You got 2 popes now, so anything goes.
Be scared of her gift.
So now that she's experienced it slowly, she's been less and less afraid because she's starting to understand it more and more. So Mia says the fact that they don't communicate verbally, communicate mentally is a gift.
Le gusta mucho.
She loves it. So Mia says that it's more beautiful for her to communicate with her mom in that way.
With telepathy.
With telepathy.
Es muy importante.
She feels like a mother of someone really important.
Como alguien que no es común.
Someone who's not common. She knows that Mia is going to change a lot of minds and hearts. She wrote in her diary that she can read everybody's mind, but you have to believe in her for her to do it.
We did more tests that afternoon and the following.
I guess that's what I was drawing off of. And I think her dad may not believe in her because she just said.
He don't.
And big ups to him. I'm not, walking his path.
At all.
Yeah, but he don't. He will at some point. He will at some point. So,
and maybe he started off, just thinking about it or whatever, and then he like, oh, what am I doing? And that's why she starts and stops. Like, oh, he doesn't believe in me, so
yeah, 100%. What challenges, bro, as we wrap up, does the Telepathy Tapes research face? What type of challenges this doctor up against, and guys like you and me, and the nonverbals? What are we up against here?
The general media and the propaganda that's been placed on humanity at this point in time by these 6 companies or whatever that really control the narrative on most of the stuff that we see.
Bro, the autism scale. Back in the day, there wasn't a scale.
They wasn't even really talking about autism. They was calling them retarded.
Okay, so the scale. The higher you go up that scale, the more in touch you are with the ether, do you think?
Yeah, the less verbal you are, I think you are, because there's got to be a way to communicate. They didn't come here to not be able to communicate.
Well, you remember the one told his teacher, the 4-year-old told his teacher to get the tuning forks, and they were hitting all these different tuning forks, and he's like, that's my spiritual vibration, and that's my physical vibration, and had her get all these swatches of different colors. He was trying to do something.
Yeah. Trying to put his bodies back together.
Ain't that something, man? According to him, 4 years old. According to her, Lotus said, curious message. Don't know what she means by that. Maybe she's working on the riddle. And then Motri said FAFO. And then he says TATFN. And that means he's been ramming himself in the chat. This ain't that Fox network. So that's what he calls us. TATFN. I forgot what he said TEI means. And that's Dre, man. He had some trouble with his Newt Pullen. He has some trouble with his phone. I think he had to get a new one. That's why he don't have the blue. I just want to confirm that's him before we
for sure.
Yeah. And then Mochi said SpongeBob. According to him, Fox is the #1 rated on TV, and CNN is rated below SpongeBob. That's what he means by that. SpongeBob has higher ratings. Do you watch CNN, so?
No.
Do you watch Fox News?
No.
All righty. Okay.
MSNBC, whatever? No.
Yeah.
I don't watch any of that mind debilitating crap. You watch that stuff like that, then you become an imbecile, in my opinion.
100%. 100%. One thing you didn't mention, the research is facing challenges from the skeptics, in the scientific community, the need for more rigorous and controlled studies, and the difficulty of replicating telepathic phenomenon. But they did do something with the EEGs, didn't they, Self?
Yeah.
They were showing higher brain activity.
It is also, I didn't say that some of the parents that know what's going on with their children is trying to gatekeep it too. They don't want it out there for some reason. Makes no sense. And the EEG was kind of a trip because
years ago they would have called people witches and stuff if they had these abilities.
Definitely.
So it could be something in the DNA. But go ahead, you were saying what?
The EEGs and stuff didn't change. And the guy who was doing it, he was expecting to change at first, but then he said that they must always be in this state of mind. So it wouldn't be no change when they start so-called using these powers.
Wow.
And the girl said she could see everything. That tripped me out. Hearing it the second time.
Another thing I find interesting, unless it's coming from an evil therapist or family member, generally society, besides mean looks, which is hurtful, and some jeers people make, people don't really, it's like they have a certain protection. Nobody really bothers them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah. There are some isolated incidents and stuff.
And they're usually not alone. So I bet you if one of them went walking down the street with that crown on his head that you got on, somebody might take it. Yeah. And then some of them, bro, are super strong. Don't be messing around. Boy, they get you in a lock. We had a nonverbal in my family when I was growing up. Ed. He was old. He was getting disability money. Smart.
Yeah.
Boy, you ain't cross Ed. You did not cross Ed.
Cousin Bubby.
Man. Great heart. Big ups to Ed. The views expressed in the podcast are those of the hosts and guests and are not necessarily reflective of TATN or any of its affiliates. Did you have anything else you wanted to comment on, bro? I want to do a quick wrap up. And you guys, we might revisit this, because we want to tell you their overall message, because they all had a message that we really didn't engage in, which could be a whole show. They all had like different things they wanted the verbals, I think they call us verbals, to know. They got something they call us. Yeah.
Speakers or talkers or something.
Yeah. Noise makers. But you had anything else you could think of now, bro?
No, I'm waiting for the final words.
All right. So, in conclusion of today's episode, as we unpack the telepathy tapes, this episode has taken us on a fascinating journey into the world of nonverbal human beings and their potential vis-a-vis telepathic abilities. We've explored compelling case studies, scientific research, and personal anecdotes that suggest the possibility of telepathic communication among individuals who do not communicate verbally. These insights challenge our understanding of human interaction and open up new avenues for exploring the untapped potential within the human mind. Our discussion has shed light on the intriguing evidence supporting telepathy, revealing how nonverbal communication might transcend traditional boundaries and offer profound connections between minds. By delving into these mysteries, we not only expand our knowledge, but also foster a deeper appreciation for the complexities of human consciousness and the ways in which we connect with one another. Thank you for joining us on this eye-opening exploration. Remember, stay curious, stay informed, stay aware, stay engaged, but most importantly, stay true to self. Also, show some love to yourself and everyone around you. Remember, ask not what our culture can do for you, but what you can do for our culture. Until next time, silence is violence. Speak up for the voiceless and question everything. The Self Love Show ain't Kansas, Toto. Peer down the rabbit hole and do your own research. Use caution and discernment, because sometimes when you stand to that abyss, well, the abyss stares right back at you. Till next time, peace, self love, honor, and respect. Yeah, man, you remember the one dude pretty much said goodbye to everybody. He ended up, he drowned allegedly in the hot tub, one of the nonverbals. And other side of the country, they were sad. And he came and said goodbye to him. Like not like they say they still see him on the hill.
Right.
Yeah. He living his best life, you know. One of them had a girlfriend. They met on the hill. Then they get them together and sit them next to each. That's the one. He passed away. Yeah. Yeah, y'all should go through those tapes. Mind blowing self.
Extremely, man, very interesting. Got into like animals as well.
100%. What percentage of that has to be true for your mind to be blown?
I mean, any of it. But
I agree.
Near 100% is like,
I agree. If one person was doing all of this, it would be mind blowing
yes.
and more unbelievable. I don't know. Maybe that makes it more believable. I don't know.
I mean, when you're hearing it from so many people that don't know each other, and then find out that these children know each other.
Oh yeah, they would think the kids was wacky. They'd be mentioning a name. Yeah, how do you know? Yeah. My friend Tori. Yeah. And there's
That's
no
what
Tori
one
in
kept
the
doing.
room.
One kept doing that, and then her mom went to the school to find the girl, so if they could have a play date or whatever. And nobody knew who she was. And then later on, she found out that she met her on the hill.
What about the new girl in school? And then she was having problems, and all the teachers were screaming at her and trying to settle her down and something. First day of school, and then one of the nonverbals was able to communicate, leave her alone.
Houston said, let her chill.
Yeah. And they do that.
Y'all need to let her chill.
They do that to verbals. You come to a new school, sit down, you're going to sit right there. Sit down and you get to know it. You know what I mean? It's like, man, I can't even chill into this.
They were overstimulating her.
That's what he said. Yeah, you got a great memory, bro. You're probably on that autism scale. I guess we're all on it. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're all on it. Whether it's you never had absolute zero in anything. So everything is nothing and nothing is everything. That's my assessment of the universe. You ask me, what's the meaning of life? I'll say, nothing is everything and everything is nothing. Sounds like Confucius. Yeah. All right, we're going to get to this riddle, you guys. I know you've been waiting on it. In silence, I can hear your thoughts. Without words, I know what's sought. Invisible bridge that minds traverse. What am I? A gift. Some call a curse. In silence, I can hear your thoughts. Without words, I know what's sought. Invisible bridge that minds traverse. What am I? A gift. Some call a curse. Brother Wordsmith.
Telepathy.
Yeah, 100%. He has trouble saying the word, but he can visualize it and get it right out there.
I don't know what the hell that was. I saying the word all day.
In silence, I can hear your thoughts. Without words, I know what's up. Yeah, okay. Invisible bridge that minds traverse. There's a key there from the AI. The invisible bridge that minds. What am I? A gift, some call a curse. There's a frequency for that bridge. And you'd have to be giving out receiver frequencies. You know what I mean? You have to be, we all have that.
You got to be tuning in.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
I think your subconscious
to their frequency.
You think your subconscious is seeing more about this realm and experiencing more than your conscious is?
Absolutely. It takes in everything. So I'm thinking that it sees everything. So
could the nonverbals merely be in a subconscious state or more? In other words, we're dominated by our conscious minds, we like to think, but it has like a filter that filters the wacky subconscious. Could they be opposite depending on how far they're on the scale? They're more tied into that subconscious state?
They definitely have access to their subconscious mind. They have conscious access to the subconscious mind.
So if as above, so below, is there a conscious universal mind and a subconscious universal mind?
I would think there would need to be.
There would need to be.
Especially like this is a simulation, so whoever made this simulation is, I would think that they live in a dichotomy. That's why they created something that a dichotomy.
All right, y'all. February 4, we're thinking it into existence, you guys. We're gonna have a special guest for you guys lined up for you. Fire seems to be out. Funny thing about the news, Self, that they go from one tragedy to the next. It's been raining and they're talking about the flooding and everything. But they have that. They do not put out one big thing and it says the fire is out.
Man.
You know what I mean? I don't even know if the fire's still burning or not.
Yeah, it's hard to know the truth when those families run this media stuff like they do, or those companies or whatever they are.
Well, I'd feel better if the top people were nonverbals.
Oh, that would be, the world would be a whole different place.
Whole different place, bro. It's ironic and it's sweet.
Different place.
Completely different. Mouthpiece included, where it's always an open panel. Anybody can pull up, excrete your excrement. But if you do pull up, don't forget to bring your mouthpiece. Better not forget to bring your mouthpiece. All right. We shoot from the hip on that show. It's a sports / polytricks show. So, if you don't want to mix your sports with your polytricks, so what? You know what I mean? So what? But we're going to be covering the Colored Bowl, bro. Colored Bowl 2. Second time in colored Super Bowl history. We've had two quarterbacks. Yeah, this is a rematch. The Colored Bowl 2. And I picked before the playoffs, I picked Detroit versus Eagles, and I picked KC versus Bills. I picked KC to have this rematch against the Eagles. I sure did before the playoffs started, even when Jalen Hurts was hurt. And I decided that Hurts is going to get it done this year because he's a winner. He's won at every level. Now, I'm happy either way. Because if Sideshow Bob Patty Mahomes wins, we can get, you know what I mean? We can start, calling him the GOAT over Smug Brady.
He has a three-peat. He would have a three-peat. But I don't think I want to see a three-peat either. So,
yeah, and Hurts is proving. They say you can't win with a quarterback who can't sit back there and throw it around like Jared Goff. So to be poetic, if he won it, even though he's won on every level and Jared Goff hasn't won on any level. And big ups to Jared Goff. We got your offensive coordinator. All right. And that brings me to my personal favorite part of the whole shebang. And that's going to be Wordsmith's final. Oh, my fault. Hold up. Stand by. Uh-oh. Wordsmith's final words to the Self-Love Nation and to the non-verbal nation up on the hill.
Yes, y'all. The non-verbals rule the world. It would be a better place. Things we would have to face would not. Be is difficult. Fairness, truth, and awareness be the call of the day. Not these devils, lies, and diddy parties. They have an immense understanding. Can see all sorts of things before they're even being planned. We got a lot to do, a lot to learn, to expand consciousness. Because these words and these spelling are spells that they don't have to deal with. They're not verbalizing their defeat, not locking they self in cells with the words that they speak. Speaking is a lower form of communication. Telepathy is a higher form. Inspiration. Think we spoke mind to mind without the words telepathy.
There was no lies, bro.
That's all that could be heard. Inside your mind, your third eye. It's not calcified or blind. Got a long way to go in this so-called earth. But we can get there if we're willing. We can do better make sure everybody is living decently and able to expand and grow on this land. Telepathy, you need to find someone you could speak with like that. And it can move us all towards going back to that standard. Words.
Words, words, words. Word. You remember when the mom stumbled across it, bro, and told the dad? He was like, spelling. It's like he can't even spell. He didn't even know.
No, he said he don't know the letters.
Yeah, yeah, bro. Well, that's what the indoctrination. Yeah, yeah. With all their degrees and everything, they sat there and hypnotize you, don't they, Self? Yeah, there's nothing in there. You need to give up all your hope, and you know what I mean. There's nothing in there.
I never believe that.
Yeah, yeah. And there's been countless people who never. Ray Charles, you know that stuff they was telling his mama. You know, Ray Charles, and she would tell Ray, you know, you ain't gonna let nothing stop you. You know what I mean? Big ups to Ray Charles, R.I.P. Yeah, man. Great final words there, fella. See, yeah. This will probably be the last time we do this. We're gonna record it and roll off with a video.
You are the one. Honestly, I don't know.
Makes sense.
You know what that means? It's Latin. It means know thyself.
Bullets are boomerangs.
Stand your ground.
Murder is suicide.
Eye for an eye.
Silence is violence.
See something, say something.
Slave theory. Greed plus ego over fear. That's a slave.
Charity plus humility times love. Freedom.
Do not answer questions.
Question everything.
Fear is cap. It's an illusion.
Vibrate love, y'all.
And forgiveness is love's highest vibration.
So, do something charitable for a so-called enemy and end the beef.
Healthy people, heal thy people.
You know, for sure, hurt people, gonna try to hurt people.
Free Larry Hoover.
Free Jeff Ford.
Free all the guys, man.
Prison is slavery.
Check that 13th Amendment. B. Jehovah. Walk on water.
Man, move mountains.
The whole mountain, bro?
Yeah, bro. The whole thing. All you need is the faith of a mustard seed. And we got a lot more than that.
Thanks. You know, they say that you communicate with your mind to the heart. Send your signal to the heart of the person you're communicating with. Try that during your meditations.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Being the one is just like being in love. No one can tell you you're in love, you just know it. Through and through. Balls to bone.
Still got him.
Got mine.
Chi-Town, stand up. Blessings. Peace.